everyone, Bria here from Actuarial, and today we are talking all about LinkedIn networking. Okay, so I know that unfortunately many people end up giving up on the actuarial career because they're not able to find a job. And once you've tried again and again and again for so long, you just keep trying and trying and trying, and things aren't working out. You're not getting any interest. It seems like it can just feel pretty demotivating. It can make you feel frustrated. It can make you feel like you're just not good enough for the actuarial career, and you might be feeling a little bit lost. And all this is absolutely not true. You can do this. I'm 100% sure about that. But I know when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel, I guess you could say. So I want to make sure that I'm helping you with that. So down below in the comments, if you are feeling frustrated with your actuarial job search right now, please let me know how I can help you. Just let me know what problems you're running into, what's been bugging you, what has not been working, and I will try to help you down below in the comments. So please do that so I can make sure that you are giving yourself the best chance of getting an actuarial job. Now, in today's video, we're going to be talking a lot about getting a job using LinkedIn, and this is kind of a different approach than most people take. Usually the approach to take is look online to see what actuarial jobs are open and apply to those online on a company's website or some other website. So that's what most people end up doing. A lot of people don't really know about how you can use your network to get an actuarial job, but it's totally possible. Actually, I just recorded a little bit ago, I'm guessing about 2 weeks ago now, a video or an interview with a member of the Actuary Accelerator Community. Her name is Ashley, and she was in this exact situation. She was just trying and trying and trying, and things were not working for her. And as you can imagine, I'm sure she was feeling frustrated with that as well. So once she decided to stop with the typical application process of applying online, she actually decided to move to LinkedIn networking. And she was able to get an actuarial job just through networking on LinkedIn. Isn't it so cool? Like, I just think it's awesome to see everything that I'm going to tell you about in this video actually working in real life. It's just awesome when those kinds of things happen, because you don't hear about that side of the, I guess, the job search very often, because so many people are just trying the typical way, the applying online way. But when you hear a different perspective, a different story like Ashley's, it's really awesome to hear. It's so inspiring. Okay, so I want to make sure that you know that there is another way to apply to actuarial jobs and to get a job. But that way, the typical, the normal way isn't the only way. And the other way, like I said, is to network on LinkedIn, is to use your network to connect to the people that are important, and the people that, well, everyone's important, but in your job search, the hiring managers are important. Those are the people that you want to get in front of. And you can use LinkedIn to get in front of those people. And it's kind of like a back door that no one else is using and no one else knows about. So since you're watching this video, you are going to be in a good place because you're doing something that not no one, but very few people are actually doing. First, let's talk a little bit about why going the LinkedIn networking route is such a more, well, I don't want to say it's more effective, but why you might want to also consider doing this alongside your other job search activity. One reason is because that usually only about 2 to 4% of applications that are submitted through what we call an application tracking system, or sorry, applicant tracking system. Those are the forms that you fill out when you apply to a company. They ask you a whole bunch of information. You usually submit your resume, maybe a cover letter, all those things. And it's for like a typical advertised job. That's called an applicant tracking system. And it's what the companies use to keep all their applications in one place and all their applicants organized. My cat just decided to join us up here, so I'm going to put him down. Here he is, if you want to see. Okay, so when you know that only 2 to 4% of those applications actually get seen by the hiring manager, it kind of makes you wonder, like, what's a better way? Like, there's got to be a better way, and LinkedIn does work as well as another way. Okay, so that's one reason. Another reason is it really lowers your competition. When you apply and see those jobs online, everyone knows about those positions. So there are usually hundreds of applicants for them. And that means there's a lot of competition and it's hard for you to stand out. But when you kind of go in the back door way, the secret way, well, you're going to realize that there are actually lots and lots of positions out there that aren't even advertised. So not only are you finding positions that aren't advertised, but you're also really significantly reducing the competition because no one else is finding them that way. So those are two other reasons, the lower competition, and also that you're able to find opportunities that aren't even advertised to other people. And actually, Ashley's story that I talked about earlier, the position that she got hired into was a position that wasn't even available before. They created a position for her because she was a great candidate, and they felt that she would be able to do really good work for the company and that she would be a big benefit to have them on the team. So sometimes companies just open up positions for good talent. And it's important to know that really good companies, they're often hiring all the time. If they find good talent, then they'll hire that person, even if they have to potentially get rid of someone that's underperforming, or even if they have to open up another position. They want good talent on their team. And if you get in front of them and show them that you're good talent, it's likely that they might consider, well, that's a lot of mights and maybes, but it's likely that they would consider putting you on their team. LinkedIn just gives you another way to get in front of those hiring managers. So it's definitely something I want you to add into your job search strategy. Now that I've explained that to you, let's talk a little bit here about the different degrees of connection. And sorry, I'm looking at my computer at the same time as I am recording this because I wrote a lot of notes on there so that I would not forget to tell you guys anything. On LinkedIn, there are different degrees of connection that you can have with people there. So there's a first degree connection, a second degree connection, and a third degree connection. But it's really important that you understand what those are before you start networking on LinkedIn. So a first degree connection is someone that you are directly connected with. So either maybe you sent someone a connection request and they accepted it, so now you are directly connected, your first degree connections, and they're able to see your whole profile, they're able to see any posts that you create, and just all those kinds of things. And the same for you, you're able to see all that for them. So that's what a first degree connection is. Now, a second degree connection is someone, well, let's just give an example here. So if you have my profile right here, and then I'm connected to Jane, and then Jane is connected to Joe, well, then Joe and I are second degree connections. And we can take it one further and talk about third degree connections. So let's say we have my profile here, and then we have Jane, and then Jane is connected to Joe, and Joe is connected to Sarah. Well, that makes Sarah and I third degree connections. So you do have to understand how those work on LinkedIn because you're going to really want to take advantage of all the different connections you have when you're going through this process. And it doesn't necessarily have to be first degree connections. It could be second or third degree connections as well. What I want you to do first is to actually go and connect with every single person that you can think of that you know. So this might be friends, it might be family members, it might be past coworkers, maybe managers, anyone that you went to school with, maybe people that you've met through sports leagues or at the gym or whatever other kinds of activities that you do. Anything like that, any people that you've met, I want you to add them on LinkedIn because those are all going to become first degree connections. And the more first degree connections you have, the better for this whole process. Okay, so I'm guessing that right now you probably have about 50 to 100, maybe even more, different people that you are not connected with on LinkedIn. But I want you to get connected with them right now, right after this video, okay? Once you are connected with all those people, you are really going to be opening a world of opportunity up for yourself. You're going to have access to so many people and so much information that it's really crazy to think about. If you think about it for a second, actually more than a second, but let's think about this. If you have 200 connections on your LinkedIn profile, so 200 first degree connections, well, if each of those connections has 200 other connections, well, that means that you are second degree connections with 40,000 people. 40,000. So that means that just from one person away from you, there's 40,000 people within your reach just by connecting with one person. Or just, I guess I could have explained that better, just one person in between you and them. So there's a mutual person in there that knows both of you. So that's 40,000 people. Now, I know this would assume that each of those 200 connections of yours has 200 different connections, but you get the point. There's a lot of people that you are now going to be second degree connections with. And if we take this even one step further, now think about third degree connections. So if you have 200 people and then each of those people have 200 connections and each of those 200 connections have 200 more connections, well, that's 8 million people. 8 million people that you have access to through your network. Okay, I think it's really cool just to think about the numbers and how far this can really go, because out of 8 million people, I'm sure there's someone in there that can help you get in front of the people like the hiring managers that you want to get in front of. Now that you've built up this huge network, you can leverage this network to get a job. Once you've connected with everyone you know, you're going to be able to see who knows the people that you want to get in front of, and you want to get in front of hiring managers, actuarial hiring managers. Okay, so it's important that you have a little bit of a different mindset for when you're using LinkedIn. Usually, people apply to the jobs that are available that are posted online. So whatever companies happen to be hiring at the time you happen to be looking for a job, well, those are the companies that you apply to. But with LinkedIn, it's a little different. You actually get to decide what companies you want to target, what companies you want to work at. And those are the people that you want to connect with. You want to connect with hiring managers that work at those companies. So you can use your LinkedIn network, and all your first degree connections will allow you to get to your second degree connections, and your second degree connections can allow you to get you to your third degree connections. And with all those people in there, there's got to be people that know the hiring manager at the companies that you want to work for. Okay, so I hope you see what a huge opportunity this opens up for you. But there are two caveats to all this that I've said. One is that before you do this, you have to make sure that you have a really great resume and a great LinkedIn profile that shows very quickly how you are a great candidate for an actuarial role. If you don't have this, then it's going to be very difficult to make this work, because even if you do get in front of that hiring manager, they're not going to necessarily see the value that you can bring to their company. You have to have a resume and a profile that shows that you're a great actuarial candidate. Okay, and I will show you really quickly here. Last week, I'm going to share my screen. Last week and the week before, I released 2 videos on YouTube here. So this one is all about how to make a really good resume for an actuarial position. And this one here is all about how to create a really good LinkedIn profile. So not a coincidence, but those 2 videos are there for you to do before you even get to this networking stage, because like I said, it's so important that your profile, your LinkedIn profile and your resume are up to a good standard, that they're going to show employers that you're a great fit. Now, if you are watching this and you're a member of the Actuary Accelerator Community, then these 2 videos are not going to go as much in depth as what you have access to in the Accelerator Community. So for LinkedIn, or sorry, for resume course, you go here to your resume master course, and that's going to show you step by step how to create a really good resume that makes you stand out. Yeah, you'll pretty much just get everything you need there to make sure that your resume is like one of the best for sure. Okay, and then right here you have your LinkedIn networking resources. So actually just yesterday, you probably already know this now, but I released a whole course about networking in LinkedIn. It's a three-part series, and that is going to really help you get your profile figured out. It's going to show you how to use the strategy that we're talking about in depth. It's going to go much more in depth than I've gone in this video, and there's templates and everything in there for when you're emailing back and forth with people, how to start conversations, those kinds of things. So that's where you should go if you are already in the Accelerator community. Let's talk about the second caveat here. So first caveat is that you have to have a really good resume. Second caveat is that you actually have to be a really good candidate. Okay, I've talked in many different places about the 5 phases of an actuarial journey. You can either be a beginner candidate, you can be a rising candidate, you can be an intermediate candidate, or a top candidate. Now, this is primarily going to work for someone that is an intermediate or a top actuarial candidate, because someone that's still in one of the lower phases of the actuarial journey is probably not going to be someone that really stands out to actuarial employers, because you haven't developed the technical skills, the relevant experience, you may have not passed enough exams yet. So those kinds of things are all really important to actuarial employers. So for this to work, you actually do have to be a really good candidate. So that would mean you have to be in the intermediate to top candidate phase of your actuarial journey. All right, so that was a ton of information. Let's make sure you know where to go next. So if you are someone that is determined to make your actuarial career a success, you want a mentor on this journey to make sure that you have someone there to just ask questions to, and just someone there for you all the time that's always got your back, helping you along the way, all that kind of stuff, a mentor. If you want that and you're willing to invest in yourself to make sure that you get an actuarial job as quickly and easily as possible, well, then you are going to want to jump into the Accelerator community, because really the whole program in there is designed to help you go from the very beginning stages of your actuarial journey to becoming a top candidate for actuarial jobs, and then to get your first full-time entry-level job, which is just so exciting to actually even think about that. But that's what we do in the Accelerator community. So if that describes you and you just want to work with someone to get there as quickly as possible, jump in the Accelerator community. So right down below in the description, I will put a link to that. Now, if you are someone that just isn't at that stage yet where they want to invest in the career and just wants to do this on their own, or whatever your situation, if you don't want to join the Accelerator community, that's totally fine too. What I would recommend for you is to go check out those 2 YouTube videos that I showed you earlier in this video, because that's going to be your starting point. Once you get through those and implement everything I talked about there, you're going to come back to this video, or at least go implement what I talked about here, and start filling up start doing your connections on LinkedIn, because that's where this whole process starts. Okay, so that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to our channel. There's so much here about becoming an actuary, passing actuarial exams, all that kind of stuff. So I do not want you to miss another video. Okay, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.